Hello and welcome into Vanilla Minecraft. This video is going to be about a particular mod which does a lot of back-end graphical stuff, which is Optifine. At the moment, like I said, I'm in Vanilla and nothing much has changed. I ain't got it installed yet because I want to show the difference between the two. So FPS wise, this is what it'll change in general. Now, Optifine itself has been out for a while. I think it's been out for 2 years or so, plus that, and it was promised to be at least some kind of part of Optifine put into the game, but I don't know why it hasn't been put in yet. I don't know if we're waiting for a API or something along those lines. I don't know. So we're still waiting for it. At the moment, I'm running in Minecraft 1.7.2 because it hasn't updated to the latest one, which is 1.7.5. The only problem about this particular mod is you've got to wait for a particular API to update, which is Forge. So you can't actually use this mod properly until Forge is updated, which is a bit of a bummer. Plus, then you've also got to wait for the mod itself to update. Now, like I said, what it does, it updates a lot of back-end stuff. If we just go in and have a quick look at video settings for Vanilla Minecraft, you've probably all seen this before. It gives you a basic amount of options. You know, you can change render distance, what kind of frame rate, max frame rate you want, if you want VSync, if you want to strap it filter in and map on, and stuff like that. It doesn't really give you a right lot. You've got a few basic settings, and that's it. And if we look at my FPS count, I'd say it averages about 55 FPS, and that's with me having a ATI Radeon 7970 graphics card with 3 GB of video memory, and then 8 GB of virtual memory, RAM, shall say. So it's a bit crap, really. I've got to be honest on it. It's a bit blunt, but yeah, it is a bit rubbish. This game is not optimized the way it should be. I don't think in any true respect. Now, I gotta say, Minecraft does have a lot to render. Because again, it's randomly generated, so it has to do a lot back end. And I'm not a programmer or a coder by any stretch. But it seems like the game itself is very not optimized as what it should be. And this is what Optifine comes in, because it actually does make it really optimized. I can get double the FPS, and I'll actually show you that in a couple ticks. It's just ridiculous what kind of FPS you get. So as you can see, me flying around, I'm getting about average of 55, maybe drop down to 45, depending on if the chunks are loading. But if all the chunks are loaded, then my FPS stays about 50, 55. For some strange reason, when you have F3 inputted and on with the overlay here, it actually drops my average FPS down. So if I actually turn it off, my FPS will jump back up to about 60, 65. And then if we have a look here, as you can see, it dropped back down again. So I think it's just because it's rendering quite a lot of different stuff on your screen as well, which does impact FPS. So there's probably one tip: don't fly around with F3 mode on. But yeah, I'm just going to jump across into, I'd call it modded now, because it's got Optifine in it and it does require Forge. So I'll be back in a couple of seconds. Hello and welcome back. So I am now in, I would call modded Minecraft, with Optifine and Forge API installed. And as I can tell you, my FPS is increased dramatically. If we have a look now quickly, look in the top left, my FPS averaging without F3 mode was 200 and odd, dropping that down to about 130 while stationary. Now if I fly around, it's going to drop down, but as you can say, without F3 mode, I'd probably be averaging about 100 FPS easily. And there's nothing else. There's nothing included in this mod. It's all back-end stuff. It's all coding and stuff like that. It changes quite a lot back-end. But as you can see, I'm flying around and I'm averaging about 85 FPS, maybe 70. And yeah, the world loads 100% quicker. And it smooths out. Plus, it removes that annoying little, what would you call, stuttering effect when you go and explore new chunks and you find like a mine shaft or village or something like that and it stutters. Then it actually removes that, which is great. Although I guess it's nice having the stutter effect because you know something spawned nearby that is probably worthwhile investigating. But yeah, it's a bit annoying for when you're recording and that, and you want a nice smooth transition from through the entire video, and then you get a stutter effect, and then you miss a couple of frames and stuff like that. But yeah, if we actually go into the options here and we check out, there's some options quite familiar, the same. As you can see, advanced GL, you've got a render distance, you've got some of the stuff, but then there's more buttons here. You've got quality, performance, other animation details. And then you've got render distance, which you can actually double up to 32 plus. And then you've got chunk loading, which I have at the moment put on Multicore, which uses more cores. Because like I said, most computers these days have more than 2 cores, or 4. I think 4 is the standard these days for gaming in general. I have 6, and the only problem that Minecraft had, I think it only uses the one CPU core, when the other 5 for me are not doing anything. Well, this in multicore mode actually enables more second CPU, so it means your FPS increases, plus the world can actually load up to 3 times quicker, which I've seen it quite happily easily do. And then you've got smooth, which just stabilizes FPS, so it removes the stutter effect as well, which is great, and the freezing caused by chunk loading. And then if we go in, they've got quality, so this is for all your different bits, so you can turn on clear water, better grass. Now, if you have the default graphic settings up here set to fancy, then that's what it's going to be in some of these. So in this case, for better grass, it says default off, default side grass texture fast, and then you got full and you got fancy. So it really depends, and it will impact on your FPS depending on which one you have selected. Then you got a strophic filter in here, bitmap, you got anti-aliasing, you got bitmap type. Then some stuff had different mob colours, so you got random mobs, so different mob skins if texture packs have them in. So if we actually hover over this, it says random mobs uses random textures for the game creatures. It needs a texture pack which has multiple mod textures. So take a zombie mob, for instance. If it has more than one texture in that texture pack, then it'll mix and match between the 2 of them, so you can get different types of zombie textures, which is good. Then you got connected textures, which actually connects all the textures together. Now, I believe it has to be supplied with the current texture pack again. So some of these do require other stuff, like if you're running a texture and it actually allows you to have connected textures, and that's great. Then you've got other under here, so this is some of the back end stuff. So you got full screen mode, you've got weather if you want to turn that on and off. You've got lagometer. Then in this one is animation. So if you've got a particular particle you hate and you want to switch one particular off, so in my case it'd probably be the portal animation or the smoke. You can turn anything off. You can even turn void particles off, which is probably another one that you want to get rid of, which is great. And then you can turn them all off, all on, and you can just mix and match. It gives you a whole handful of different options you can mix and match. And then you've got details. So again, this is where you get into some of the stuff. So by default for me, it's set to fancy because that's what it is. Because it's decided on, it's set by the setting of graphics, so which is this option. And you've got server-side textures, fog, fast, and all this kind of stuff. So if you have issues running Minecraft vanilla, and you like to record and stuff like that as well, then I'd say get Optifine. But the only downside, as I've mentioned before, is you have to wait for it to update, which is the only downside about it, which I really, really hate. But yeah, please rate, subscribe, comment as always. If you have any hints or tips, then leave them in the comments below. I do apologise if I'm saying stuff really, really quickly. I'm just trying to get these videos as short as possible. Not only for how big the files are, but it's just I'm trying to make nice, small, quick videos about certain mods. But yeah, like I said, if I've said anything wrong, leave them in the comments below. I'll leave a description. I'll leave some links in the description below. So if you want to check these out, then I suggest you really do. But yeah, until then, guys, I will catch you later. Bye. Right. Okay. So that's going to be quite good. So what we have now, we have a pickaxe with reinforced free and breaking free, I believe that.